Understanding Aikido, Part 2, the Mixed Martial Arts Revolution. So, as I said in the last video, there's many contexts to martial arts when you use the word martial art. Martial arts is a large field. It's a field that includes unarmed fighting, armed fighting, all kinds of different weapons, all kinds of fighting in different terrains and environments, surprise situations, multiple attackers. There's lots involved when you say the word martial art. However, in this country, or probably in most of the modern world, when we say the word martial art, we're really referring to one context only, which is unarmed one-on-one. This is a problem when you're trying and understand a martial art like Aikido, because Aikido wasn't designed for this context. This context wasn't really even considered much when you look at the techniques that were chosen for Aikido. So what mixed martial arts did is they helped us really understand what this one context that we think a lot about is, and what's important to that context. So, and that context being unarmed one-on-one. So we're talking about guys in a controlled situation where there's someone making sure everyone follows the rules. They're not going to be using any weapons. The people are of approximately the same size. A lot of controls going into this one situation. This makes for great competition, right? So fights are boring when there's one big strong guy who's always destroying someone else. Fights are much more exciting when the people are evenly matched, and that's what you see a lot in modern mixed martial arts, is this desire to make things equal and similar. In Aikido, we don't really look at that at all. So trying to understand Aikido from this perspective is impossible. And while mixed martial arts gave us a lot, it doesn't really help us understand Aikido. A lot of times you'll see people from the mixed martial arts world or sport competitive world want to take Aikido and put it into their context and then see if Aikido is any good. So for example, we have an MMA fight and you tell an Aikido guy, okay, we'll go into the MMA ring and see if your stuff is valid against this other guy who's a real good MMA fighter. This is not fair and not reasonable. For example, if I took an MMA fighter and I took him to a modern war situation and I had a soldier who's been training for years in combat situations, I said, okay, you two go after each other and here's some guns. The MMA fighter is almost certainly going to lose to a seasoned war veteran. And when I say that story to you, you quickly say, oh, well, of course, but if we took the war veteran and we put him in a ring with an MMA fighter, he's going to lose. And that's also correct, because each person in their own context is doing very well. They're very capable within their own context. So if you take a person outside of their context and put them in someone else's context, they're not going to do very good. But within their own context, they'll do very well. So if you take Aikido and you put it in a one-on-one unarmed situation, you're not going to get good results. The Aikido people are not going to do well. You're never going to study Aikido and become a master boxer. You're never going to study Aikido and become a master wrestler or mixed martial artist. It doesn't work like that. You're going to study Aikido and become good at what Aikido's context is. And all the techniques within Aikido are designed for that context. So the next part, we're going to talk about what Aikido's context is and why, and how that will help us really understand and be able to narrow in and become better at our martial art. I'm Christopher Hein. Thanks for watching.